Okay, guys, welcome back. We're starting to get, a little bit closer, a little bit harder prep, and we are 7 weeks and 2 days out. That's 51 days out. Tomorrow marks 50 days out, and mentally, you want to push a little bit harder each time you hit like one of these marks. Like I start usually at 100 days out, then you move quite easy down to 75 days, and 75 days, a little over 10 weeks, and you have these marks or checkpoints where you start to push a little bit harder. And you know 7 weeks this weekend, need to push quite hard for the next 3-4 weeks, make sure that everything is better than last time, last year, everything. So I think we're at a very, very good spot. I'm 106 kilos without water, without anything in the morning now. Fluctuating a little bit depending on how much water I'm holding throughout the night, and that also depends on how you sleep, how much stress you have, and all of that. So a lot of things goes into the equation of how I'm looking. And then again, posing in the morning, I don't have the same light every day because I want the sunlight, because it's a little bit better with sunlight than uh, the setup I have downstairs. So that's just how it is. I go by the mirror anyways, so I pose in different room in front of the mirror just to see those weak points, my glutes, my hams, my lower back, and the skin on my stomach, really. And uh, right now, sitting over 7 weeks out, I think I'm in a good spot. I'm going to show you, how I'm looking later. But now, when it comes to diet, it's about the same. I think last time we filmed, we had a high day, but this time we're base diet, and base diet is 320 grams of carbs from rice. That means 400 grams of uncooked rice throughout the day. 4 meals with carbs, 1 meal ground beef without carbs. And I'd add some fruit still, apples mostly. Today I'm having a little bit of watermelon just because it was left in the fridge or in the refrigerator. So that's the fridge, yeah. Not a lot, but more than a usual apple. But then again, kind of helps with digestion. If you have been eaten a lot of watermelon before, you know that it helps get things through. And because I'm pushing a little bit hard now, my stomach kind of stops up, meaning that uh, we don't go to the bathroom that often anymore. And too much information doesn't matter. It's part of the process, and if you ever gonna do this, you need to understand that it's perfectly normal to be a little bit constipated when you're doing a hard diet, and it's only gonna get worse as the carb drops, and everything need to be as good as possible, even though something's gonna give. So day, same as every day now. Um, but we're gonna see either today or tomorrow, depending on the look, if I'm gonna eat a little bit extra. And just because I have time, I have opportunity, I've been pushing a little bit too hard. I've been pushing cardio a little bit too hard, up to 1 hour a day. So that's a little bit too much. I want to bring it back just to reduce stress. And even though I want that routine, I don't want to stress my body too much when it comes to being 50 days out. When it comes to strength, I'm quite good. I did manage to do a couple of reps, very controlled, in the shoulder press with 53 kilo dumbbells, which is like 118 pounds dumbbells. So that's quite good. And today we're gonna deadlift, so I'm gonna film a little bit about that, and I'm gonna tell you guys about deadlift because I see a lot of people doing different style of deadlifting, and is it that beneficial to have in your program when you're a bodybuilder. That's what we're gonna address a little bit at the gym. And if something special happens, I'm gonna film that. But for now, I'm gonna eat, do all the things I need to do before I hit the gym. Then we'll see you there. Okay guys, so deadlifting, and you know how beneficial it is doing deadlifts and prep. You know, nobody really knows, and when it comes to how you should do it, then again, nobody really knows, because you can do it for back, you can do it for hands, glutes, you can do it like a double movement, like a hip hinge movement and a leg press, because if you go down, squat down, it's a two-part motion. You first press the floor away, then hinge the weight up. So lately you've been seeing on Instagram all the people doing SLDLs, straight leg deadlift. And you know, for some people that's very, very beneficial. For me, I haven't had that much of a luck when it comes to develop my glutes and hamms. It is based on how you are made, like how long are your thighs, how long are your arms, and how are you made for deadlift. So we can go through a little bit on how people deadlift and why you can do the different kind of deadlifts. So an SLDL will be straight leg. Go down and you try to keep your back straight. And you push through with your hips. Very simple. And you see a lot of people doing that now, but it is difficult for some people to, you know, reach that kind of weight that's necessary to be that thick back and a big hamstrings and glutes. So for me, I'm doing deadlift because it's very demanding. Love the feeling of doing a lot of work on prep. So I'm gonna do it like you've seen me do it before. You've probably seen a lot of different styles of deadlifting, but I usually tend to lift in an efficient way. Down and up as efficient as possible. When it comes to other people deadlifting, probably seen like Brian Shaw deadlift, world's strongest man, like 4 times. He deadlifts with a wide grip and he goes down squatting, then he deadlifts like this. I ain't saying that's wrong, but he's 2 meters and something, so he's like almost like 7 feet tall. So it's a different way of moving weight when you're that tall, and all this needs to be taken into consideration when you're doing deadlifts. So you can be doing just straight leg deadlift and rack pulls maybe, because if you want that back thickness from rack pulls, it would be from doing it like this. And the way I've learned to do it is your hands need to stay a little bit wider than your shoulder. This way you can push the bar behind you and engage lats. So you, and one of the most important thing is push all the way back to engage all your back, because one of the big movements that people are forgetting when they train back is that last part of contraction back behind you. So that's a lot of talking before we get started on the deadlift. I don't know how heavy you're going to go, but probably like 240 kilos. Probably can lift 300 kilos, but I don't think my nervous system, my recovery is good enough to recover from that. So, and then again, in 1 week, I'm doing strongman again, so I want to be rested for that. So, I'm gonna move up in weight, and you see my top set at least. Whew. So, when it comes to moving, big weights. Being efficient is the most important thing, and efficient means moving the weight as little as possible from A to B. So you don't want to move it out, you want to move it straight up. So in order to do that, you drag it on your, what's it called? Chin. And you might end up, bleeding. I haven't done my warm-ups yet and I'm bleeding, so I'm doing something right. And when it comes to efficiency, it's also, like I said before, how are you built? Because you see a lot of people lift different, and that will determine how you lift, how you are built. So for me, I'm lifting for like 10 years now. Most efficient way for me so far is the way I've been lifting now. So that's last warm up before I put on a belt and see how things are moving. It seems okay. I said before that my chest, my pec has been bothering me on the heavy weights in deadlift before, because I've tried it 2 times now, 250 and 260. And both times I felt it in my pec, and I felt it on the pec on the farmer's walk when we did strongman. And we'll see. Move to 230 and I'll see if I end up like 250 or something like that. Okay, 250 kilos, and a bit heavier than I was planning to go. Feel okay, and what I've noticed over the years is, like, if you really have to psych yourself up for a set, you probably will take away the next week or 2 weeks in recovery just from your CNS, because if you're good at psyching yourself up, that will be, detrimental to your recovery, if that makes sense. Because us normal human beings that can't lift 7 plates when we're 18 years old, takes a lot of time and a lot of training on your CNS to be able to lift heavy weights. So I ain't gonna psych myself up that much. Just gonna lift as many as I can now, 250 kilos, and be happy with that. I need some chalk. It's the mental part again. When you start to get sweat in your hands and you're doing multiple reps, that takes away a lot. So it ain't, better safe than sorry, at least on this. When you have 1 set, I ain't gonna do this twice. So. Okay, 250 kilos, hopefully for a couple of reps. Almost. A drop of blood in my nose. But 5 reps, I think that was quite good. Haven't been deadlifting heavy at all, so I'll take it. And we'll see when the prep is over. might be getting into some serious weight again. We'll see. Okay, so let's have no doubt about it. Deadlifting today was mostly to boost my ego. So in terms of destroying my ego again, gonna do Nordic hamstring. Haven't done this since last year, I think. And for those who haven't done this before, probably the heaviest movement you can do if you have a big head like me for your hamstring. So let's finish this video off. Remember to subscribe and like. Try to do these ones at your gym. Ah!